Nigerians have to be more realistic. They have to be practical. They have to change their attitude. The ordinary Nigerians included, because the politicians in Nigeria are the greatest enemies. Some of them are the greatest enemies of their own country, called Nigeria, because they don't care what happens to the country. Nigerians are we are the enemies of ourselves, because a patriotic Nigerian must be a Nigerian who thinks of Nigeria first before himself.
True.
But today, the politicians, some of them, most of them, think more of what they would gain than what Nigeria should gain. So I think that Nigerians are the enemies of ourselves because we're only thinking about ourselves, not the unity of this country. I feel that the President Tinubu himself should sit down and listen to Nigerians. He is not a dictator. He's not a military dictator, military president. He's a civilian president. So he should listen to those in his party and to others. When the patriots visited Mr. President on one Friday and delivered the message, I think Mr. President should revisit the discussion that took place in that meeting. What Nigeria wants now is nothing but restructuring. But you have a country whereby people think only of becoming president in order to lift up their own people, not Nigerians. So each president in this country has gone to the extent, we have gone to the extent of treating some ethnic nationalities as first class, others as second class. But if you know how to manage people of Nigeria together, there will be no problem. Nigerians forget so quickly. I was commissioner for finance in a Midwest state between 1972 and 1974. I was commissioner for education, Midwest state, from 1968 to 1971. I am therefore surprised that people forget so easily. When our sage, our father, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, was in charge of the government of Western Nigeria, it is true, cocoa was one of the resources areas where we got our resources.
Right.
And 50% went to the West. And with that 50%, we had free education in 1956.
Yeah.
We benefited from it. But when television came in 59,
right.
When I say we, those of us from the minority area, Midwest, we don't. Roads that were built by Israeli companies, they never came to the Midwest. That's why the Midwest movement was formed. Similarly, the core state in the East believed that the Igbos were suppressing them. They form about 2/3 of the population. Therefore, they want a core state. Even our people, Chief Udodoma and many others, believed that they were being oppressed.
Right.
That's how Niger Delta Congress came into being. But what happened? When the Midwest state was created, the region was created in 1963, what happened? They said we should go home immediately. And there's a saying we used to. There was one Chief Oluwapata. And when Chief Akintola saw him, he said, what's your name? He said, Apata. How do you spell Apata? They say A-K-P-A-T-A. He said, no, you're not Yoruba. Yoruba say A-P-A-T-A something. So you go back to your state. So we laughed. We are using it to laugh. But what is the significance? At the end of the government, of the two governments, when they separated, the West, the Yorubas, refused to share the assets and the liabilities belonging to the two regions. Till today, they were the only people being treated like that. And I remember as Commissioner for Finance, I accompanied my governor to Ekiti, where Adebayo was in the weekend. And the late Oni of Ife and Edwin Bakare were there with him. We were all playing. Then this issue came up. Adebayo, who used to be so nice, was very angry. What did you contribute to our economy? And so on and so forth. So till today, we did not share. Only in that area, West. The East share their own. Don't share their own.
But the West refused to share.
The West refused to share.
So.
And what have they done?
Interesting.
Up to today.
Okay.
They didn't share. Then when the question was asked, Adebayo refused. Then what am I saying today? It is the same West that now takes the briefcase to come to Abuja to share in the federal money. And the money comes from where? From the same Midwest, they refuse to share money. As I told you, I have never declared open my support, making speeches for President Tinubu. As I said, it is too early for me to issue a statement. But let me say this. On this ground, don't I congratulate him for his selflessness, for his courage and wisdom. Because certain individuals or politicians want to run this country as their own country. When you decide to share, you must say, where the money we are sharing, where does it come from? So it must be taxed. But at the same time, I was shocked when the 36 governors, under the chairmanship of the vice president, met and discussed that Mr. President should set aside the bills for further consultation. And not only that, for the 19 northern governors to come together. When they have been meeting over the years, they should ask themselves, what have we gained? What have we realized for dividing Nigeria? 19 governors, 17 governors, and so forth. Today you have progressive governors and PDP governors. These are not things in Nigeria. The constitution of Nigeria now we practice is bad. It's not good enough. By that meeting, the vice president, my good friend, his son, became a father. That they are now have to carry news. That body is a constitutional body set up by the Constitution of Nigeria. That an advisory council, council or whatever.
Advisory council, yes, you're right.
Under the chairmanship of Mr. Vice President, should meet without the governors attending. But today, the governors have converted that
Council.
This council to an executive body. They've now gone into politics, so they now control the NEC, what do you call it?
The idea.
So
NEC.
There. Now, after they've done that, the question one asks, who were they going to consult? How many times have they been consulting their people? They know they don't stay at home. They're always in Abuja, thinking that they will get more money. So, as far as I'm concerned, I was so shocked again when I learned that the 19 governors of the North have met again. If 36 of you met, why are you meeting again? Because the Northern governors, most of them, do not realize what they are doing. So this double standard, this arrogance of power must stop.
Okay.
So as far as I'm concerned, that tax bill must go on. But let me tell you one thing, where I came in. Section 62 of the Nigerian Constitution, 1999 Constitution, talks about derivation.
Yeah.
Now, that's a tax system also. Provided that taxes are paid. One would have expected that Mr. President in his 4 bills would not forget the provision of the payment of tax to the states that produce whatever resources.
Right.
So that again was a mistake by the government to underplay us. I'm very much disappointed by the attitude of our elders, which I'm one of them. I think it would be wrong for us to sit down watching the destruction of the legacy we built over the years. I was a minister together with some of the people you mentioned. I was in that government. When I say that up till now, many of us have not been consulted or asked for any advice also. Not that one is asking for it. I've been a senator. I've been a minister.
Federal minister.
I've been so many things. What do I want? During Jonathan's time, people say I was sleeping there. I never slept there. But I was very close to him. So what am I saying looking for in Aso Rock? Nothing. So what am I saying? We were all ministers together. At least 3 of them became head of state. Minister Mohammed, gentleman, was the head of state. Then Obasanjo was head of state.
Yeah.
Then you have Buhari. Then you have IBB. Then you have Abacha and Amsterdam. These are military people. There are many, many other civilians in this country who would like to, who have the knowledge, the intelligence, the ability, and the personality. But most of them have not been called. And the few must have spoken, felt disappointed because they were not listened to. This government can only succeed if the politicians change their attitude. What am I saying? Trump Well, it can never be said to be better than any of my president in Nigeria or past president. But the Americans, as I said, are very strong institutions. So let us develop the institutions of government in this country so that they can speak. If INEC speaks, people say it's INEC talking. If any other institution talks, they say it's Nigeria talking. So I think it is not possible. Who are the people? At least our ages range between 80 and 90.
Yeah.
I'm going to 98.
Wow.
So when you think about that, what are we going to do in government? But we can advise.
Yeah.
So that is why when the patriots came and talked, we expect that President Tinubu to give priority to the reconstruction of Nigeria. How does he do it? All the leaders of the various ethnic groups, nobody to pretend that you can manage Nigeria as a unitary form of government. Leaders, not those of us. We can contribute, we can say something to our people. Let there be town hall meetings by various ethnic groups. Let them decide, what do we want? What does Nigeria want? Are we equal? Before. Let's take it. So it is not possible to bring these old people you mentioned and others like ourselves for a meeting. We can meet at our level with the president presiding.
Right.
Then you can meet with the next group.
Okay.
But you have a country whereby people think only of becoming president in order to lift up their own people, not Nigerians. So each president in this country has gone to the extent, we have gone to the extent of treating some ethnic nationalities as first class, others as second class. But if you know how to manage people of Nigeria together, there will be no problem. Let me say this.
Yeah.
The question I'm writing an article. I've been saying this. The 1st of August problem we had, and there was a vote of confidence on Mr. President.
Yeah, the last council of state.
Yeah, the question was, I learned there was another one again recently.
Yeah,
the question I first, for what? How relevant? Does Mr. President need that type of thing? No. President is the president of Nigeria as a country. Whether you are in the position, whether you don't belong to any party, whether you are APC, he's the president of the whole of Nigeria. And it should behave like that. Let me give you some of the feelings.
Okay.
It's not enough. Nigeria has developed for a long time. When President Tinubu was very relevant, was when he was governor of Lagos State. The problem between him and the former president of Nigeria, Obasanjo, and we all hated him. But it appears that he's bending to the other side. Now, what one believes is that Mr. President, you have constant meeting with the leaders of the country, with the various group, with the youths, with the women, and the recent trial. As if the whole government, we were afraid of youths, young boys, so you tell them to go. What for? I think the problem, therefore, is that the leadership should embrace everybody in this country.
Okay.
And when your enemies should be in your government, doesn't matter. But today, you look for all your friends, whether they are competent, whether they are social, whether they are honest, they must be in your government. It's wrong. Nigeria does not belong to Mr. President. Nigeria belongs to everybody. And unless we are equal, every Nigerian is equal. And unless we believe that any Nigerian can rise to the top position, otherwise there will be no Nigeria. Well,